Hey YouTube, what's up? This is me, the FF Inferno, and my messy office. Sorry about that. We will be recording a podcast here pretty soon. We're going to be recording on Spreaker and simulcasting on Stationhead, and you're going to watch it right here. So if I forget to mention you, then sorry. I'm going to close these windows really quick. Sorry, my mess. My house is so messy. I'm a school teacher, and it's summer break. So yeah, what I do in the summers to fill my time is of course research fantasy football, and I put stuff on eBay and Etsy. So if you want to, you can check out my eBay and Etsy stores. So let me go ahead and prep the recording and prep the simulcast on Stationhead. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. And yeah, we'll start this in a couple seconds. Let me get everything prepped up here. All right, so here we go. Let me put some music on. If I can find it, here we go. Hello, everybody. Yeah, sorry, I had to turn that music back up. This is the FF Inferno at FF_Inferno on Twitter, FF Inferno on Instagram, coming at you for another podcast. It's June 2019, this monthly podcast about fantasy football and my exploits in fantasy football. A lot's been happening. I don't think I did an actual podcast for a while here. I think I skipped last month. Yeah, I think I skipped last month. It was just busy. Like I was telling our YouTube visitors, because this is also being broadcast live on YouTube and also simulcast on Stationhead. It's been busy. I'm a school teacher, and my regular job. And wow, we're listening to Rick. Ooh, okay. Never mind. That's weird. Okay. Rick Astley. Weird. But anyways, let's talk about some fantasy football. Turn down the music now. And yeah, let me tell you about my exploits during the past few months there. I'm knee deep in Dynasty fantasy football right now. I think the last time we spoke, or if you read my blog post on infernofantasyfootball.com, I talked about Dynasty Orphans. I bought one, and lately, since I've been gone, I bought three more. Yeah. So you can take a look at the blog post on infernofantasyfootball.com. I have some samples there. I also did a redraft, way too early redraft draft on the KFFSC website. So go to kffsc.com if you want to draft on me there. Just let me know. You can DM me on Instagram or FF Inferno on Twitter. If you want to get on a draft on kffsc.com, just let me know and I'll go on there with you. But let's see. So yeah, Dynasty Orphans. Look at my handy dandy, and if you're watching on YouTube, the handy dandy podcaster notebook I bought on Amazon. Yeah, I bought 3 orphans on fulltimefantasy.com. Used to be Scout Fantasy Sports, but now they're full-time fantasy, so I don't know what's going on there, but that's okay. I don't know if I like my league mates, and that's part of the thing. Some of them are kind of jerks, sending me really bad trade offers like I'm that new, sending me stuff like Tariq Cohen for Julio Jones. I don't know, but whatever. As you can see, if you look at my blog post, we did the rookie draft. I took over. In my opinion, some solid fantasy, solid dynasty teams. So hopefully that goes well. So now I have a total of 7 dynasty teams. So I don't know if I'm going to have a lot of room for redraft. I wanted to limit my fantasy teams this year, but I'm already up to 7 dynasty teams, so that's okay. All right, so check out the blog posts. I have a couple of teams up on there. There are ones on Full-Time Fantasy, FFPC, and KFFSC. What else did I want to talk about? My way too early redraft. I want to analyze that really quick. Ooh, never mind. Sorry for that distraction. Got text from my wife. We'll do that we'll get back. We'll get to her in about 5 minutes because that's all we have left for this podcast. I liked the draft. Way too early. Ended up with Patrick Mahomes as my QB1. A lot of people are saying he's going to regress, but I got him in the 4th round. I'm not going to give him up in the 4th round. I started off this draft with 2 running backs, David Johnson and James Conner. In the 3rd round, I got my wide receiver 1 in AJ Green, so hopefully he improves. He was injured last year, but hopefully he improves. And at the 4th round, I got Patrick Mahomes. Some people don't like that. Some people will say that's too early to draft a quarterback. But even if he does regress, I mean, quarterbacks score the most points anyway. You got to have that solid QB1 in there. I mean, you can get a solid QB1 in the later rounds, but I think Patrick Mahomes is that talented. And yeah, we'll see where it goes. I could be making a huge mistake as well. But yeah, also in this latest way too early redraft, I ended up kind of with a Detroit Lions stack. Kind of weird. I backed up Mahomes with Matthew Stafford, and I have Marvin Jones as my wide receiver 3. I have TJ Hawkinson as a tight end 2 behind Hunter Henry, who's my tight end 1. And with my very last pick in this draft, I took Theo Riddick. So I have a kind of weird stack there. I don't have high hopes for Detroit, but you don't know, and we don't know. Their head coach is the defensive coach, but I think they got rid of their offensive coordinator from last year, Jim Bob Cooter. I think they have somebody new that I can't remember their name right now, but that's okay. You never know, especially in these way too early drafts. I mean, it's only June. I'll be coming back at you in July. I'll be doing a lot of mock drafting between now and then. You guys should too, because the more preparation you do before your drafts in August or that first week in October or September, the more prepared you'll be, and the more advantage you'll have over your opponents. Yeah, and that's pretty much all I have for you today. I bought some Dynasty Orphans. I did a redraft, and yeah, that's about where we're at. It's still early. Not many of you are thinking about fantasy football right now, but that's okay. But again, I mean, it doesn't cost you anything to mock draft. You can mock draft on your phone, ESPN and Yahoo, Fantasy Football Calculator, Fantasy Pros, the site that I write Vegas Golden Knights updates for. They have a mock draft application. So you do as many mocks as you can that actually involve real people, because the computer sometimes will not help you. But you can find them everywhere. Again, the most preparation you have, the more preparation you have, the more advantage you have over your opponents in the fall. What else did I want to talk to you about? I might be making another YouTube video, a separate bonus video, because, you know, I have all these fantasy football magazines from 2009. Yeah, 2009, 10 years ago, a year ago. And notice something, if you see, and this is on YouTube right now, you might notice that there's one guy, one wide receiver who's on all these fantasy football magazines from 10 years ago. But you'll have to watch the YouTube video. So it's bonus footage there for you, those of you watching the live stream on YouTube. I'll probably record something later. And lastly, we're talking about fantasy football now, and probably that's all we're going to talk about for the rest of the summer, because my fantasy baseball teams absolutely suck. Yeah. So I think I'm going to stick to fantasy football, do more prep for fantasy football instead of fantasy baseball. I don't even want to talk about fantasy baseball. I'm doing so bad. But we'll see what happens. I mean, there's still a lot of fantasy baseball season left, but we'll see what happens. All right, so this is all on the recording. This is going to be all for the simulcast on Spreaker. Again, stay tuned on YouTube. I might have some bonus material for you. And get at the Twitter, on the Twitter machine, at @FF_Inferno, or Instagram at FFinferno. Yeah. All right. So that is all for the podcast. And that is all for the not speaker. Yeah. I forgot what the Station Head simulcast. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.